Hey y'all, let me get this music turned off and let's get going. Happy Friday, everyone. As Lizzo says, I've been waiting for this one. I'm really excited. We are making a cascading rainbow bracelet. It is the start of Pride Month, and I thought we'd start our first June class of the first class of June with some color and make a full-on rainbow necklace that I think anyone could get into. It is a really cool design. I'll show you in just 1 second. But first, hello. Please wave hello in the comments. We're on YouTube and Facebook today. I think more people on Facebook. If you are someone who likes to chit chat and be with everyone, probably want to head over to the Facebook page. But hello to everyone. We've got Tim Hall all the way out in Alabama. Hello, Tim, all the way in Alabama. Oh my goodness. I didn't even put all my plants behind me, Angela. I didn't have time. I put a few. Plant update. This guy this is the one I'm pretty sure this is the one that used to be in this shop. Because I realized recently it wasn't there anymore, so I was realizing I think I actually took it home. This used to be quite long, if you remember, and I cut it and propagated. So I basically put the leaves into water, and then I have never done this before, so don't actually listen to me. But what the folks said I could do on the interwebs was I could then plant those cuttings back into the soil, so that eventually it'll become an even bigger pothos. So here it is, June 2022. We'll check back in 6 months and see where it is. Maybe it'll turn into a rainbow by then. So let me show you a little bit what we're working on today. Got some very interesting lighting. Let's see if this works. Flip myself around. Here is, whoa. We've never had that lighting before. Fascinating. We've done class. I wonder if it's because it's quite cloudy outside. Let me try to open a little bit more light. But you've got a sense of what we're doing. I'm actually going to grab some lights. So give me 1 second. I don't want this class to be all ugly for everyone. And then we'll be good to go. Alrighty. Guess y'all can still hear me. It's been a nice day at the shop. We've been working on the June bead box. We've been assembling it so that next week we can start kind of packing up the boxes and doing all that sort of thing. Alrighty, lights are coming on. Should hopefully help at least a little bit. It won't fix it, but it'll help a bit. And it's looking so pretty. It's really feeling like it's going to be like great for like start of summer. All right, I've got 3 lights pointed down at us now. See if that'll help us out. Last time we had like perfect lighting, and that was lovely. It's great folks can still hear me across the room. So here is where we are at for today's class. We are doing a cascade necklace. So each of these is going to be its own strand. And then what we're going to do is use some bales. These are spacer bale from Tierra Casa we just got in. You can find those on the website. And each of these strands will hang from one of those bales onto our strand. And that's the basic technique of today, is using those bales to kind of let us have a little bit more volume to the piece. And then our main battle is going to be making sure we like kind of the layout. Because obviously I'm using a whole lot of different beads. This is Stash Buster necklace right here. I featured it around the cubes that we have in this shop, where you get all 7 colors of the rainbow. So I thought I wanted a few like unifying points to this piece, and that's where I put those at the top, so that the top of each strand will have a cube and one of the bales, so it'll have a little bit more of a unifying look. And then my thought process as I laid this out is I wanted kind of a smaller bead at the bottom of each. This one's a little bit bigger, so we'll see how that looks. Thinking that if we kind of bookended it with like beads, that it could look a bit more cohesive, like more intentional basically. And then I really have tried to vary up the middle beads using some like different specialty shapes and other whatnots, and then not putting them all in a row, because I actually think that would be, I don't know if I would, I don't think I'll like the look of that. Otherwise it'd be something like this, where they're all in a row. And I know it's too even. That's what I'm feeling now. It feels too even. I want us to have a little bit more fun than that. So something like that. And then to finish off the piece, there we go. We have a couple options. We're going to be like fully designing with, I did a kit with Soft Flex and they featured the cubes and then some of like Nilay's new pipe chain. So like I was thinking about using this, but I think I might want to save this for that live we're doing with them. I have some other ideas, and that I don't want to distract too much from the colors, so I grabbed some of the new Tohos in the shop. Also, just to give myself a more bronzy option to go with my bronze spacer. We got a few options today. The last element that I used to kind of bring these strands together is these table cuts. We finally, I got these in a while ago. They disappeared. I found them yesterday, these table cut mixed shape strands that we had started a wait list on them and whatnot. They are now on the website. If you are on the wait, you actually do need to go ahead and purchase it. We had a weird glitch on these. So if you want one of these strands, definitely go on and head to the website. We've got lots of them available. They're $5 a strand for these mixed beads. And so you'll see I mixed those throughout because they have a nice like lighter quality to them. And I thought they go nicely together. So that's kind of how my thought process for unifying this. But my challenge to everyone here, I really hope folks will try this, is go to your stash. And I found all sorts of random odds and ends of like bead mixes and things, and just slowly put together my strands. So I want your necklace to look totally different based on the beads that you have. So you could do this, and it doesn't have to be a rainbow. You could do this Cascade design in so many things. Essentially, those are all going to hang from a strand, probably going to string it up. So they're all going to be hanging down. So you could make this in any color combo, a single color combo. The basic design using the spacer bales, I got inspired from Misty Moon's design. She is so into this sort of way of putting things together and using these sorts of bales to hang. So I thought it was like so smart. Wanted to kind of put my own spin on it. And here is my necklace inspired by the amazing Louisa of Misty Moon. Go check out her channel if you want some even more inspiration in this sort of design and a lot more. So there's a lot of ways we could do this. Like I was thinking, if we use stringing wire, it would be a little bit faster. It would have a nice waviness to it. I personally really like the look of wrapped loops, and was thinking if for something I'm going to wear, I'm probably going to want that sort of feature hanging around here. So that is what my gut is saying. But otherwise, the other way I would have done it with stringing wire is I probably would have put a few seed beads between each of the colors to make the beads stand out from each other, and then just done a single strand crimped. You could even actually do a single strand, have a loop at the bottom, and do a dangle from that. That was another way we could do it. And I am, of course, now intrigued by that because that would still give me some of the wire work that I want. Any thoughts? While I grab the rest of my supplies. I like both those ideas because I do have some of, this came in the kit with Soft Flex, some really nice white, and I would go with my ivory. I bet I have some bone soft flex too if I want an even closer match. I'm super curious. I love wrap loops and I kind of want to do it, but I'm also intrigued if these were each their own strand. Let's see what folks think. Mira says wrapped loops. See if any other votes are any other thoughts are coming in. In the meantime, I can at least start on the bottom bead because I know I'm going to want to wrap that one up. I'm going to use, I would recommend around 24. I tend to gravitate towards like a 20. For wrap loops, a little bit easier using a 20. Actually, I have a 22 accessible. Let's see, that's a 22. That's the happy medium I was kind of wanting. This is just bare copper wire. We have it arriving to the shop very soon in a few colors. I have some plated colors. But let's start with these guys. You might recognize a few of these beads from the shop, I hope. I really tried to mix in some goodies, lots of owls, some of our diamond swirls. Anyone else recognize anything? Oh, the long drop, a fancy facet. So just like a whole little plethora of bead fun here. Some bellflowers. Okay. I think I'm gonna do wrapped loops for the whole strand. What I was asking folks, I'd focus thoughts on is that if this whole strand up through there would be, I could string it as its own little section. It'd be a lot of crimping. So actually, let's do wire. I always feel the most comfy with wire. So I'm going to come in with a short section and just start on my middle strand because I want my inner strands to be a little longer. I haven't actually given it more beads, but I'm going to start there. It does have some bigger beads, so it should end up being a little longer. So I'm going to come in to do a basic wrap loop. So give myself, don't need too much room, 1.5 inches or so that it's on that side of the wire. Bend that up and kind of start to bring it together. And then it's kind of helpful to pinch these guys so they're both coming up. And give your shorter end a bend because that's the one that's going to wrap. If your brio is strong enough, you can just hold the brio and twist it to get your wraps going. We just need to do about 1.5 wraps there. And from there can finish our wrapped loop. Lynn says, I'd string your beads with some thread so they have a lot of movement. That would be very pretty. I am no thread expert. I would love to see how like Danielle would do that. I saw you in the comments, Danielle. I think I'm going to stick with wire. Also just because as a piece I'm going to wear, I think I would really like the look of kind of the hand wrapped loops for this piece. So I'm coming in, making a wrapped loop just as you would any other time. And then gonna finish this off. You can choose how far I want to go. I will run out of wire. But it's kind of nice to go just past the tip of the bead, don't you think? So it kind of stays in place a little bit. So I can hopefully wrap it just a tiny bit more. Didn't give myself a lot. If you want to do a lot more wrapping, give yourself another 4 inches of wire at least. So that'll be the start of the green strand. So I figure we'll just keep adding on to that and see if we like it. Mira has me on the giant TV. Not terrifying at all, Mira, you know. There's no I gotta get that out of my head now. Far too large. There's a TV about that size in front of me, and I couldn't imagine myself on that. I like to be phone sized, you know? So thank you to everyone on your phones today. The actual Pride flag has 6 colors on it. It ends with blue. It doesn't actually have pink. Yeah, it doesn't have, because pink and indigo were taken off. And it ends with blue, I want to say. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue. No, it must end in purple because it has 6 colors. All right. I'm going to stop talking for 1 second to make sure I remember to connect my loop to the strand before it's too late. We're going for a mixed metals piece today. Most of my wire I currently have is bare copper. We're going to do antiqued bronze spacer bales, some anti-bronze seed beads probably, and then I'll get to choose. I do have some antique bronze findings. So we're going to use at least 2 metal tones today. Alrighty. I'll actually go through how to do a wrap loop for the next one, because we do often, never can hurt to go through, especially for someone who gravitates more towards a simple loop just because you don't feel the wrap loops are as strong. I think it's so worth working on your wrap loop. It's a lot more secure because you're doing that wrapping. You don't have to worry about your loop coming undone. That's the big advantage, because especially in thinner gauge wires like a 24-26, and you're doing simple loops, the loops aren't going to be super sturdy. And then in those thinner gauge wires, I really recommend a wrapped loop. So to do your wrapped loop, come and just basically grab it in the middle of the wire. Doesn't have to be perfect. And give yourself a nice 90-degree bend to start. And come in with your round nose pliers. So I'm holding that right at one of the corners so that I can bring the wire up and over. You can see the loop forming. And I'm going to twist these up, giving myself some room down here to bring my working wire around. And I've got a nice loop there. At this point, you can wrap whichever hand is easier for you. Most people like to use this as the working wire I'm holding here. Most folks like to hold that with their dominant hand. I'm insane and don't, because when I first learned jewelry making from YouTube and taught myself from there, so no one ever said, you know, there's like a more standard way to do that, right, Sam? And that's now my habit. And Wanda will try to break it every time I do it. And I don't think she's going to succeed. She'd have to come visit. Force it. It's just what I'm used to at this point. Alrighty. So as I was talking, I didn't connect it. That is the downfall of a wire wrap loop, is because on a simple loop that can open and close, there's no means for me to connect that now. But we got good practice doing a wrap loop. No harm done. Copper wire is not expensive. Jesse, if you want to throw any questions to me in all caps or such, so make sure I see them, feel free. Because I have to pay extra attention to connect my beadies. Here, I'll zoom in for a sec so folks can see a little better. Come on. How does Sarah's videos always stay in focus like the whole time? I don't think my phone likes that. This is the only, I think, non-check glass here. This just looks like a Chinese crystal from my shop, but I really liked how well the tone matched. I had a little sparkle, extra sparkly element. I will now connect this. Oh, you're saying I can make a top bead. I want my top bead to be a cube. So that's, I'm gonna leave that for now. I'm actually not gonna complete each strand with the top bead yet, because I want us, it'll give us a little bit more room later. Not my best one. It'll give us room later to adjust the lengths, because I think this will have the best look to it if the center ones are just a little longer. Currently that's as long as that strand would be, which is probably not far off from what the other ones will be. Alrighty, let's go on to I'm Feeling Blues next. Did find my head pin stash, but I kind of want out of head pin today, just for the heck of it. So let's do a knotted head pin. A Sarah Lovecraft knotted head pin, mind you. Coming in with my round nose pliers. And I'm just going to keep twisting this wire. See how a loop coil's forming? Until I get 2 full coils and I can see the original cut. See that? That's where I'm going to bend 90 degrees. Grab my working end and put it back through the loop. Are you serious, Kathy? This whole time I'm not that abnormal wrapping with my non-dominant. It just makes a lot more sense to me. Somehow I have more strength in my dominant hand to hold the bead, and somehow I don't need it for the wrapping itself. This is a nylon gel plier. I have just pulled through my 22 gauge wire to make a cute little knotted head pin for my adorable little 6mm fire polish. Gets its own little hat there. All of that for one little bead. The other fun way I could have done this is you can wrap a round bead like a brio. You just do a brio wrapping with the holes running side to side, and then the brio wrapping coming up from there. And it's quite cute. I was realizing before class that I didn't know the full history of how the rainbow flag became a symbol for the LGBTQIA+ community, and really wanted to actually know the full history because I only know tidbits of it. So I had a fun little research project time and would love to share a little bit what I learned. So the idea, this is at least how the legend goes. It was quite a while ago, so there's always some speculation. But the original idea came from Harvey Milk, who was the first openly gay mayor of San Francisco, I think any metropolitan city, as far as I know. And he offered the idea to, the name is Gilbert Baker, to come up with a flag for the community. It wasn't like super clearly stated of why a rainbow was originally chosen. The two speculations, one is that Judy Garland had just passed. This was, what year are we in? It's in 78. And that it possibly was a tribute to Judy Garland. who of course sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow in The Wizard of Oz. The other theory is that it was drawn from some of the flags of the 60s, some of the like unity and peace flags of the 60s. So that's kind of where some ideas where the design would have come from. The flag was then unveiled at SF Pride in 1978 and kind of became an instant symbol, especially after Harvey Milk was assassinated just a few months later. It really kind of took then when it became so clear how necessary it was to end that sort of violence through visibility and understanding. I don't believe Harvey Milk has served as mayor for all that long. Did he never? Sue said he was supervisor, never got to be mayor. Thank you for the correction. And then, fast forward quite a bit, for the 25-year anniversary of Stonewall. So Stonewall being June 69, Stonewall riots in New York. We try and multitask doing wire wrap loops. The 25th anniversary in 69, 79, 89, 94. There was a mile-long rainbow flag as part of New York Pride in commemoration of the 25th anniversary of Stonewall. And then since then, that flag was more recently used in, let's see, it was 2015 when gay marriage was legalized. Let's see if I can get into that heart there. And when marriage was legalized in all 50 states, the flag was actually brought around the country and flown, which I think is kind of amazing. I was, of course, distracted and have an upside down heart. So I'm gonna go back a second. But that's kind of the overview history. I'm sure there's so much more to it of the Rainbow Pride flag. I'm using a 7-color flag here, which is actually not what today's flag is. It's 6 colors, and often with other additions as well now. But for design purposes, yeah, odd numbers are a lot better for design, so that I can have a center to the piece. So let me come back and work on that heart. And if folks want to share any more in the comments, I think that would be amazing. All right, let me start. So this is going to be the bottom of the heart. So we're doing that again with our wire wrap loops. I lied, that'll be at the top. Alrighty, get that connected. So if you're a really fast wire worker, this should come together pretty quickly. I tend to be someone who takes my time, one loop at a time. And you can, if you see here, I'm doing usually about 3 loops per connection. Did I mess up the connection a second time in a row? Indeed, I did. So I'm just going to go ahead and possibly just do a bonus bead there because I think it might be fade at this point. I can't believe I did that again. I don't particularly want to use a jump ring there. But am I going to redo it? Here we go. I might have to finish part of this necklace after class. But I will show you the basic technique here. Thank you, Mira. Y'all see it every time before I see it, which is amazing. But I don't see the comments quick enough to get to see your really helpful comments. So I'm going to start by connecting it. Maybe we'll switch to doing that more because it really lowers the chance of curse words. Oh my God. Third time's a charm. It's too funny. I know I'm not the only one who does it. Anytime I be with Rachel Ballas, we start chatting about gosh knows what and end up redoing all of our wrap loops. And I think it's just part of the process. Each wrap loop has to be earned. And my hand's gonna be tired by the end of making all these chains? I think so. I'll have a ton of wire to hold here, so I'm probably gonna have to use my pliers. This one's a little trickier because of the shape of the bead. I kind of need to get into that groove in the middle of the heart. And the reason I bring all this up anyway is I just think I feel very thankful for these days of just how far things have come. And in terms, I don't know, even just like seeing it in small ways of like this type of television that's being created and like the stories that are being told, that like I think many more people are feeling much more seen than ever before. And it kind of it's kind of amazing, especially like even younger generation who gets to grow up in that, in a world that is just a little better and more loving. And Divine says, proud pride auntie. I love that. We'll finish one of these strands so you can see the connection to the bail. I'm gonna do the blue strand because I know I'm not gonna want to adjust the length. The green one might want to get longer. So let's get the cube attached and then we'll be able to attach our bail. Oh, we got so many. And Mira says, y'all making me so happy over here. Mira says, proud pride mama. I feel very supportive to have had a very supportive, loving family. And I just hope that for everyone. And that one day we'll just get closer and closer to that. Because I think ultimately at the end of the day, all we want is just to feel connected to each other at the end of the day. And I hate that things like that drive families apart. I have friends who don't talk to their parents, and that makes me, or just kind of aren't able to talk to their parents, and that makes me real freaking sad. So, but today is a celebration of Pride Month and how far we've come. Alrighty, let me walk you through what I'm doing. So I need to get actually this connected from this side because from the other side of the cube, it has to connect directly to our spacer bail. So I got my 3 loops. I'm actually going to get to go to SF Pride this year. I've been only to one Pride parade ever before, and it was amazing in SF way back. And then I guess something called a pandemic happened, and it is now happening again this year. I'm very excited to go out with some bunch of friends this year. All right, so here we got my cube. That's going to be my top bead for all the strands. So I can go ahead and just attach it directly to this adorable little bail that'll hang just like that when we string it up. So that just hooks on. And the reason I picked these today is because it ends up looking like a bead. And I really liked that. It could become part of the design itself. So I can have my dangles, have my design looking nice and cohesive. These spacer bales from TRCast are one of the more inexpensive offerings, which I appreciate. We were doing them in packs of 4. In this design, I'll be needing 7 total, but there's so many uses for these. I have a feeling I'm gonna be keeping them handy for a lot of designs going forward. So that is going to be the first strand. So hopefully that feels pretty clear so far. Essentially, we'd be doing the same for each of the strands. And then to string it up, it's kind of what I'm going to show a little bit of here, is I want to really let the colors stand proud here. So I'm going to come in with these pretty light tone Toho seed beads. These are brand new to the shop. We have just a few. They're part of a palette that we just have a few left on the site if you want to grab one of those. And my thinking with this, it does actually, the hole size will really help determine this, because if they just go right through, we won't be able to space them out. Alrighty, these are the 8/0s, and they do not go into the holes of the space rail. That is really helpful. I'm guessing if I use the smaller ones, they would, and it wouldn't give me the design control to choose the spacing between my bales to ultimately be able to have this spread apart, that my strands aren't collapsed in on each other when you wear it. I'm going to err on more space between them, and we'll be able to kind of hold it up before we crimp it or anything, because once it's shaped like this, they're going to be even closer together. Well, then the other issue then being the more they're spaced out, the more vertical it becomes here. So actually we have a little bit of a balance to play with. Let's put about 5 or 6 between them. Folks, mark your calendars for the Softlex Live. I literally am so excited. I am just getting to bead with friends, basically. It's with Nilay Patel. Why is that one look put on my charm the wrong way? Just wanted to kind of test out the spacing. You can use these charms that way. There's no reason you couldn't have the donut show, but that's not the original design of this piece. Memory error says maybe about 1/2 inch between. That seems about right. This is probably just over 1/2 inch there. And this is essentially how we'll put the necklace together. If you want to be more colorful than what I'm doing, definitely go ahead. I might experiment with some of these bronze seed beads. We've got, just see how much, we've got about 20 minutes. So I'm basically going to keep going as long as I can into the necklace, and we'll see what we can do. But that, if you've seen until now, you now know the basic construction of the piece. The last piece that we're wanting to figure out is exact length, which is why I'm recommending make all your strands. Make sure you like the balance of them, because we're kind of coming up with a symmetrical layout of big bead there, big bead there, big bead there, big bead there. So we're guessing that it'll be balanced, but that's why I'm thinking we make the strands and then put it all together. Mira says the bronze beads would be gorgeous with the color of the bales. I know, that was the moment I put the cream ones on. I knew I did love it. Mira, we're on the same page today. Want to come bead? What are you beading today, Mira? So it's 5 of those, I'm guessing, will really be pretty. If I had a perfect CB collection, like Danielle Wicks's wall, my dream, which I one day will have that collection, I'm working on it now, would be that the long strands after our bib, the long strands on either side could be a really cute rainbow pattern, maybe like white and then seven colors of the rainbow, then more white as like some little subtle touches. So if you have that lovely CB collection to be able to do that, can you do it, please? All right, Wanda approves of the donut bales. I do too. So we're gonna set that aside for a second and work on some more strands. So we're just gonna hang out now and see where we can get. So let's finish up this side of the piece because we're not too far away. Wanda is here just in time to say in 3, 2, 1. See if she's caught on. I'm sure she's typing furiously. I better see that comment before this head pin is done. She's running at it. Oh, there it is. There it is. You did it, Wanda. You passed. Yeah, these Toho colors are gorgeous. So this is the size 8.0. We did sell out of the larger size, but we'll be restocking those guys. Definitely. Because that was part of our palette that went with the May bead box that we launched yesterday. It always feels a little silly making not a head pin for just a little bead. But all beads deserve this sort of attention. I don't know if anyone has spotted that I only put one gemstone into this. At first, I was thinking of doing a mix, but then was having a much easier time putting glass elements together. So we just have this one amethyst gorgeous bead because it's such a nice purple, and purple is the hardest color to get in check glass. It's just really hard to make purple glass in general, which is why you see more of this lavender glass. It's kind of the main purple, and they call it amethyst, but it doesn't look like amethyst to me. It's pretty, but it ain't amethyst. Okay. Now we can do some more wired loops. Yeah, Michelle, we certainly have, let's just cut a bunch of wire. You know how much wire? We're gonna need so many little pieces for this. I'm gonna cut some like 4-inch lengths. Maybe make it 5 inches because the longer the wire, the easier it is to make your wrap loop. I think folks do this on the spool, but that is not me. Okay. I don't know if I've ever made a piece with this many colors before. I'm someone who gets a little scared once I go past like the 2 or 3 color territory. I don't know if you noticed some of the bead boxes, we've been incorporating a little bit more variety of color tones. And that was hard at first. I don't know, at least it felt hard. Because it's a little harder to imagine what will go together. But then something like the boho box, we had pinks, purples, multiple types of blue, some bronze. I want to say there was some cream in it. Am I not remembering? And then like a little accent of other tones, a little bit of metallic. Because we are finding that I think it is nice to design with just a few more color options. But doing a rainbow gives an excuse to use all 7 color tones here. Some rainbows even use pink in them, and I was thinking about doing that. What else is going on this week? I feel like it's been a nice week at the shop. Where the main one? Oh, we've kind of started. What I was starting to tell folks yesterday was about some of the stuff we have coming up. There'll be like a more like full formal announcement once we have all of it ironed out. But Sam's Summer of Fun is happening. I have to confirm a whole lot of details for it, but it's gonna involve everything we do at the shop. So like this June box that's shipping is gonna kind of kick us off a little bit. So you might want to make sure you're getting it. We're gonna have some these. Let me tell you all my hopes for it. My hopes are summer camp days, so we can have hopefully some kits for classes, and I want all of the amazing people to come teach classes, all of our bead friends, and a lot of those to have some kits available with them so you can make along with the class really easily. The live sales are going to be really fun this summer because we're going to do some really, I've been working with some of my favorite suppliers to get some great deals for the shop, because with all the prices going up and everything, I was like, we still want to be able to get our bead fix. So I am working on getting some awesome bead deals in for this summer. So more details on those coming. Almost done with our blue strand. Mira says, tell us about your camping trip. Did I don't remember. Yeah, I guess I only talked about it a little bit on the Tuesday sale. It was lovely. So it was 3 days, Friday to Sunday. Last week, I went with my best friend, Simone. We've been friends since like I think it was a decade now, which is wild. And we found this farm up in Auburn, California. So California folks will probably know what city that is. It's kind of past Sacramento on the way to Reno, Nevada. And yes, it's Nevada. My dad grew up in Reno. It's not Nevada. Everyone else is Nevada. Anyway, we're not getting into that battle today. Anyway, lovely city. There's like Old Town Auburn, which was first got going around the gold rush times. And there's like newer parts of the city too. And then this farm was just like 15 minutes out. And we literally slept under kiwi vines. I didn't know that kiwis grew on vines. And so we were welcomed. We got a little produce basket with things they just picked on the farm. It was like strawberries, some onions, some greens, things that we ended up cooking with a lot of it, and a bag of kiwis. It was kind of end of the season. They said like these are like the last of them. So they were pretty good. They're a little squishy. But we still got, we slept under the vines and ate their kiwis. It was very random, very fun, and just very relaxing. We listened a lot to this podcast that came out a couple years ago, Dolly Parton's America. Both of us are big Dolly fans, but isn't everyone a big Dolly fan? Which was kind of the point of the podcast. It's a great podcast series about her life. We really enjoyed it. We got through about half of it, so I still get to listen to the rest of it. It's like 9 hours total, but it's all about Dolly. It's really fun. All right, we got a strand there. We are moving along now. Uh-oh, I missed comments. Let me take a 5-second pause. Angela says summer bead party. Wanda, the setup at home is coming along. It is not organized yet. The bead area, I have not spent the time to organize it yet, but if you can see over here, awkward camera angles. I got these drawers for $5 at a yard sale. And I want to put all my tools into there. Over on this side, ignore the folding table, there's one of those lovely Alex drawer sets that I have my bead trays fit really nicely into that. I can put 2 or 3 of my bead trays into those. And then I have all this lovely space. I want to decorate with all sorts of pretty things. So I'm very excited. Oh, there's a plant that's here, but it's in the kitchen being watered. So just imagine. That blue drawer set was in the return section of IKEA. So I got it assembled and discounted, which felt like a double steal that I didn't have to spend an hour putting that Alex drawer together. The number of those drawers that I've put together for the shop, because that's where we have our inventories in those drawers at the shop. And I used to put them together wrong until I realized how to put a drawer in properly. I actually read the instructions and had to redo all of the drawers eventually because they did not close properly. And we never knew why. We're like, oh, these must be really poorly made. And like, no, Sam didn't read the instructions. This is back in the days of when I did pretty much everything for the shop. So this is why it's lovely to have really smart people like Jesse, who joined and could catch all these things that lone Sam didn't do just not quite right. I'm intentionally not connecting this one. This is just a middle bead. How many sections are my bead trays? Okay, I really want to do like a whole thing on bead organization. I just started that topic in Gem Chat because I think it is kind of a huge element of design is really having your beads in a row. That was the reason part of the reason I was able to get this rainbow together is that I have my beads colors, for the most part, color sorted. So like this is, I guess you can count it, Mike, a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 4. So these are some 32 compartment ones. Got these at, I don't know, big craft store years ago. The main piece I like about them is they have curved compartments. I cannot stand the ones that have flat compartments. These ones I can actually grab the bead out of. So much easier, and the compartments don't move. Love, love, love those. My other ones are this size, and they're fine. I don't think those are also from Michaels, but I think a lot of folks have these ones too. I don't like these. They're bigger, but they don't have that curve. I don't like them as much. So if you're shopping for new bead trays, keep that detail in mind. I think it makes such a big difference. Also in terms like now that I'm like resorting those trays and taking out things that I don't want anymore, whatnot, I want to brio wrap this English cut. Having those curved compartments make it so much easier to fully empty that tray. All right, to do the brio wrapping on this guy, bring it to one side. A little hard to see the center, but essentially it's as if those are the 2 holes there for a brio. And now the bead can kind of spin a little bit, a little extra movement. And same deal. You can grab your shorter end and bend it 90 degrees. It is okay if this is not perfect. It won't be too noticeable on a round bead. Give that a little wrap. And can y'all yell at me to connect this to the next bead? I don't want to redo this. I would like to have a necklace one day. So in about 4 seconds, I will be connecting that beautiful piece of amethyst to my English cut. These are the English cut from the January box, blueberry jam ones. And then we can finish our brewer wrapping. Oh, and look, at the coils came together. Just like that. All right, 2 more beads on purple. Like, I think, you know, this is like one of those designs, like I've had it in my head, and like you think it's gonna work, and I'm still pretty sure it's gonna work, but then once I actually put together, it's like it could be the real moment of truth. It's these middle strands that I'm most eyeing that need to be long enough. That could be actually a reason that I start to shorten this strand. Okay, while we're here, if I cut out that bead and go right to the cube, we actually do get a nice graduation. So let's do it. Let's follow that. I probably would have done this bead, but that is fine. We're using amethyst. And there's nothing ever bad about that. Thank you, Mira. Connecting. Next one. Y'all the support I need. End of a long week. Just get to do some beading together. Sarah always calls her Friday shows Feel Good Fridays. And I don't know about y'all, but like I always feel good watching her shows. So it's like a field day, weekday, every day. Yeah. But I know what she means. She means like it's like easier projects they can feel real good about. By the way, she has some great kits this week. If you're looking for some nice projects to have in a couple weeks, check out Sarah's Etsy. She has some very cute kits today. She's back. She's on her knotting. She's back on her knotting roll again. Now that it's warming up. What else is going on in the bead world? I saw Nile is doing some really cool lives with Deb Floros, whom I adore, doing some beading mantras, and they did a live today, all about statement jewelry that I watched. Highly recommend. I didn't connect that bead at all. The folks at Softflex are doing way cool things. I'm really excited to do that live with them on June 15th. Because I don't think I said the date earlier. June 15th, we're doing that live together. Christine, she says, can't wait to see it done. Me too. But I could just sit here for hours doing this. Like, as you can see, I rewrap a lot of beads multiple times. I'm gonna try this another route. Start with my bail. These bails are so cute. I kind of want to make a pair of earrings that look like little donuts. And they have like just a little bit of like a hammer tone pattern on them. Just to give a little extra, like just a little extra bonus detail, I think is so great. I wish I lived just slightly closer to Yarkos. It's like an hour drive. More than that if there's traffic. I would be bugging Tracy Proctor all the time. I just dream of doing so many classes with her. And I still want to do some with her in person. Same with Softflex. But I wish if they were like 15 minutes away, I'd be like, Tracy, we're beaded today. It's happening. Because we have so much of the TRCAT stuff in the shop today, and she has so many great ideas of how to use it. And I want her to give us all of the inspiration. Okay, this is strand 4. We have the majority done. We're coming up on an hour now, but I'm gonna go for a few more minutes and wrap up. So it'll be just like that. I think I already like it a lot more. I can see, okay, so that cube will be there. So we actually did end up with, now that I have these in a line, with strands for 4 different lengths, which is exactly what I wanted. So I actually can go ahead and complete the green and we can wrap it up there. And the other half of the necklace will be exactly the same. I'm going to string it up on a medium soft flex and crimp that with some 2mm crimps. My other idea for finishing this is that you could use necklace memory wire and make it a bit more of a choker style. It would be quite gorgeous. It would have kind of keep its shape really nicely if you use some necklace memory wire. All right, one more bead for today. I hope this provided some fun inspiration. Nothing too tricky here. Like all you're needing is some wire wrap loops. And if you've been needing to practice them, why did I cut so much wire? Unnecessary. I grabbed exactly 7 of these bales, so I'm not allowed to lose one. One is not allowed to drop on the ground or I will not have a rainbow. Right. I'm dropping tools today. I will connect it. And we'll have our green strand. Well, I know I'm going to have to wear this to Pride. SF Pride is like June 26th or something. And I know that I will have no choice but to wear this one. Come on, wire. Got a little stuck. There we go. We've got our 4th strand. You can already come and see. This is. I'm glad we did the wire wrap loops. That is kind of the look I was imagining. These 4 love. Oh my gosh, there we go. With these just like 4 really nice chains. Hold them up together. You can kind of get a sense of how the necklace will flow. Our indigo strand. Our violet. We've got half our rainbow right there. Well, I'm kind of obsessed with this project. The other project idea I was thinking of for a rainbow would be, I was telling Rachel, it would be 7 strands of 7 different itty bitty gems in all 7 colors of the rainbow. And then those could hang and sparkle. You would need like garnet, orange garnet, yellow opal, but you could do like a whole plethora of stones. It'd be so pretty. So there's some ideas for your Friday. I hope you get some time to create for yourself this weekend. As always, thank you so much for being here at Sam's Bead Shop. We literally couldn't do it without you, and I feel very lucky that we have such an awesome community. I don't know how it became this awesome so quickly. Like just from day one, it was like everyone was so nice and supportive and talented. So I just am very thankful for all of you. Thank you for supporting the shop. Definitely don't forget to check out samsbeadshop.com to grab all your goodies. And I will see you next week. I don't want to sign off right now, but I should probably start my weekend. I want to finish this necklace. All right, everyone. Have a great night.